Your butt is cute. You should put that in the video.
Oh, you're crazy.
For all of you from out of town wanting to buy a house in Orlando, this video is for you because we're going to talk all about how we bought our house sight unseen.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Dan and Leslie here. We are moving our family of 4 to Orlando to be closer to the magic here in about 9-10 months, but we are closing on our house here in just a few weeks, less than 3 weeks actually. So if you want to go on this journey with us, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe, and if you like what you see, hit that like button, and you will be transported along with us on our journey on moving to Orlando.
We've had this dream to move to Orlando for lots of years, and so if you have that same dream and you want to follow along on the journey and interact with us, we would love it if you would comment below.
So this is everything we did personally on our journey to buy a house sight unseen. It sounds really scary. It was really scary for us, but it really doesn't have to be. So these are all the steps that we took, and it worked out so far really, really well.
Yeah, and I would say that, you know, it's pretty necessary to buy a house sight unseen in the Orlando market that is happening right now. So, I mean, unless you can literally buy a plane ticket to fly out within hours of seeing the house that you want to make an offer on, that's really the only chance that you're going to have to not buy your house sight unseen.
First thing we did was to choose the area that we wanted to live in. So last week's video, we went into exactly where we wanted to be. We wanted to be close to Disney World. We wanted to be on the north or northeast or west sides, kind of away from the tourist corridor. We didn't want to be anywhere close to I-4. We hate driving on I-4. So that really narrowed it down to, for us, Windermere, Winter Garden, and Horizon West. But if you can narrow that down, and the best way to do that is to make at least one trip out before you are really wanting to buy.
Yeah, because we had pretty much decided that that's the area that we wanted to be in. But what was really interesting is we did take a trip in December and we drove around those areas, and we were able to eliminate some of the neighborhoods that we had originally thought that we would really, really want to be in because of how we felt whenever we were there.
Yeah, so what's funny is the trip in December, we thought we were going to be in Horizon West. We ended up in Windermere, but we did drive through Windermere. So we weren't as familiar with that, but we at least knew kind of the area and what it looked like and where the schools in general were. We had not specifically visited those, but that's a great thing to do. So if you can, make a trip down there, because there is no amount of Google Earth searching, and believe me, I did a ton of it. We both did over these months. There is no amount of Google Earth searching that will show you everything that you need to know. First of all, Google Earth is outdated, so it's not going to show you like what construction is like outside your neighborhood, inside your neighborhood. If you're in a new construction type area, it's not going to show you the traffic lights. It's not going to show you the street lights. It's not going to show you what the neighborhood itself feels like. Like if you're driving through and you see overgrown trees or no trees, that makes a big difference. It does to us anyway.
Yeah, and one example of this is that whenever we had fallen in love with this specific lot, whenever we had considered building with HOAS, when we got there, we were directly across the street from the, what do you call that?
The sanitary sewer lift station.
Yes, and so, I mean, we
not on their marketing material, by the way.
Yeah, so we couldn't like really smell anything or anything whenever we were there, and we visited that lot several times during our visit, so we felt pretty confident that that wasn't going to be an issue, but I mean, it is kind of an eyesore, so.
So another thing to keep in mind is that HOAs, homeowners associations, are like crazy in Florida. They are everywhere and they are intense. They are not so intense here in Tulsa, but it is a good thing to familiarize yourself with not only what it costs for the HOA on a monthly basis, so the fees associated with certain neighborhoods. For instance, like Waterley is in Horizon West. It's at least $200 over there, but they do take care of your maintenance and they've got a crazy number of amenities. But our HOA, we didn't care about lawn maintenance. We wanted a smaller lot anyway, so ours was around $45 or $50 a month, $45 a month.
Yeah. And then finally, when determining the area that you want to be in, you want to consider the schools for the kids if you have them, or if you're going to have them while you are living in that house. So you want to check into what the quality of the schools are and what kind of academic offerings they have, as well as extracurriculars and that kind of thing.
And then when you get back, or especially if you absolutely cannot go and you're buying, you don't even know the area, you haven't even seen the area yet, check out YouTube videos. There are a ton of realtors that put out YouTube videos that actually drive through areas and neighborhoods, and at least you can get a feel from ground level through the lens of a camera is better than just looking at Zillow and satellite imagery and Google Earth, even though that is pretty nice. The other thing that we wanted to do was be pretty close to Magic Kingdom, and we hope to have fireworks views. So one thing that we got a better feel for was that conservation areas, like lots that backed up to conservation areas, the trees can be pretty tall. So we have a conservation lot now, and it is probably the case that we're not going to be able to see fireworks or anything through those trees. So just knowing that going in and understanding there are trade-offs for certain types of lots.
Absolutely.
So the next thing is setting up financing ahead of time. You do not want to get behind the 8-ball when you start making offers on houses because things go so quickly. So you want to go ahead and get pre-approved with a lender if you're going to need a mortgage, and then make sure that you have whatever down payment you need and whatever earnest money that you are going to put down on the house whenever you make the offer. So
next is get a realtor. If you haven't already, find one. We use Ken Pozek. He was fantastic. We actually found him on YouTube. He makes some great YouTube videos. We'll link to his channel below. But he does a lot of awesome moving to Orlando videos, and that's how we found him. Key things that are important about your realtor is one, that they're willing to do video walkthroughs. He was definitely always willing to go to houses that we were interested in and walk through. And what was super nice about that was that he would tell us his opinion on things, and he could see things that weren't in the original pictures as he was walking through. So it was a very true video, it felt like. The next thing that you want to make sure that your realtor is responsive. So you want to make sure that they are going to respond to you, whether it's through email or text message, in a quick manner, because when this house that you've dreamed of pops up, you want to make sure that they get back to you ASAP.
Yeah, it was actually really interesting because Ken would go do walkthroughs for us, and he would see things that you couldn't see in the pictures, like smells, like there's pet smells, or there's a smoke smell in here. So that was really, really helpful when you're buying sight unseen. So next, you want to make a list of your absolute must-haves and know that you are probably not going to get everything that you want. It's just so tough right now. So what we did was we had our must-haves, and we ranked those in order of most to least important, and then we had our wants after that. So number one, our absolute must-have was location. We wanted to be in one of those 3 locations as close to Magic Kingdom as possible. We also had to have the right school district, and then we knew that we wanted to have our lot facing a certain way, and those were absolutely important. And then finally was our outdoor area. So whenever we would look at houses that came on the market, those were the first 3 things that we looked at, and that's what let us either move forward with one or weed out the ones that we didn't want.
All right, now you don't want to rely on your realtor to let you know about houses, because when these houses pop up, they can be gone in the matter of hours, and your realtor may not have time to notify all the potential buyers that they have that would be interested in this house. So it's going to be your responsibility to set up alerts in Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, whatever system you use, or all of them like we did, and make your filters as detailed as humanly possible on exactly what you want, so that whenever you're getting those alerts, they're actually potential houses that you could purchase.
That's right. All of the houses that we made offers on or wanted, we found, and it's nothing against Ken or any of the realtors. They are super busy, and they can't have alerts set up for every single little detail or little want or desire for all of their buyers. The market is just too hot, and even if they did, by the time they got through all of them, it would be gone. The house would be gone. So next is mentally prepare for making a quick decision. The Orlando market is so hot right now. We made our offer within 3 hours of the house coming on the market. So within 3 hours, we found the house. We notified our realtor. He had the offer written up. We signed it and sent it back, and it still drug on for a couple of days, and we still got into bidding war. But
yeah, this is really important. I am not one that really likes change, as Dan knows. It takes me a little bit once you've posed a thought for me to kind of come around and work through everything in my head, and I'm sure that there's lots of you out there that are like that. So I had to really readjust the way I think and decide on the things that would be the most important for me when looking at a house and what would make it feel right, and so that we could move quickly. All right, so if you weren't able to have your realtor do a walkthrough before you made your offer, that's okay. You can still have them do that walkthrough, and so that you can see if there's anything that maybe you can't tell by the pictures. Obviously, the seller is wanting to sell their house, so the pictures are going to be the most beautiful, hopefully, and set in the best light, where there might be things that you can't see unless you were actually there in person.
hello. So that brings us to the inspection period. So once your offer is accepted and you actually have a contract, you're going to have an inspection period. And the standard, if they just leave it blank, is 15 days on the Florida real estate contract. I think we made ours 10 days to give us enough time to fly down the following weekend because we did want to walk it in person. That inspection period is going to be the last time that you are able to back out due to just not wanting it by looking at it and seeing that it is not what you thought. So two things: you want to make sure that A, your realtor has done a virtual walkthrough for you. B, if you can get there, I guess three things. B, if you can get there, go ahead and go, because it's always better to see something in person if that's possible for you, even after you've already made the contract, you've written the contract. And then C, definitely get a professional licensed inspector out there to do a full inspection, and then make sure that is within the inspection window too, because if they find something and you can't just work it out with the sellers on who is going to fix it, or if it's just too much to overcome, you want to make sure that you get your earnest money back. The last suggestion we have is to go ahead and have your realtor put in an appraisal contingency in the contract if you can. If that's going to be the make it or break it thing for getting a contract or not, then that's your decision. But the appraisal can't be done until the inspection is done. So if you do end up offering over asking, or maybe if the asking price was a little too inflated for the area and the appraisal doesn't come in, you want to be able to get out of that if possible. So an appraisal contingency is the way to do that after the inspection period has already happened.
Yeah, so that about does it. I mean, the process sounds very scary to buy a house sight unseen, but I think the key things is to do your research, have a realtor that you trust and that will be on your side, and then try to get down there within that inspection period yourself to do that walkthrough so that you can lay eyes on it and make sure it's exactly what you want.
All right, thanks so much for joining us again on another one of these Moving to Orlando videos. We appreciate you coming and enjoying this journey with us. We leave here in about 2 weeks to go down and close on this house finally. So once we are closed, we will put a full walkthrough of the new house. I know a lot of you have asked to see that, so.
The backyard is worth it alone to watch that video.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. This happened, it's just amazing. So it's definitely us. But yeah, we are also going to post vlogs on our journey through the parks. We are visiting Universal Orlando and Disney World while we're there. So we're doing a split stay. So if you like those, join us there too. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications, and you'll get notified when we post those.
Absolutely. So until next time.
Thanks for joining us.